Microsoft Word again, but now strictly we are going to be looking at the Home tab. So Home tab have different features. Take an example. Today we are going to be looking at font formatting, and under font formatting is where we have font style, font size, bold, italic, and underline, font color, highlighting text, clear formatting, and so many features. We shall talk about paragraph formatting, clipboard, styles, editing. In editing is where we have like find and replace, selecting text, and do, redo, and so many others. And then we shall look at inserting pictures, shapes, and so very many features, and sorting, filtering, proofing, comments, and so many others. So without wasting your time, let us open Microsoft Word first, and then try to look at the interface. So this is the Home tab I'm talking about. So tabs are many. You can see we are having Home, Insert, Design, Layout, we have Reference, we have Mailing, we have Review, and then we have View, which is the last. So in the last previous video, we saw how to create a tab, and now we are going to be looking at the features that we have in our Home tab, the whole of these features on our ribbon section. So to be able to do that, we are going to need some text to be working with. So for that matter, I'm going to generate some random text. I'm going to use an expression that we call rolem. Let me type it well. Rolem, like rolem ipsum. And then I put number of paragraphs, comma, number of sentences. So for this case, I'm going to generate 4 paragraphs and 3 sentences. So let me try maybe to increase the size so that you can see my expression that I'm using to generate some random text. If I hit enter, you can see I'm having 3 paragraphs and 4 sentences. Another way, I can say equal sign. Let me try maybe to delete these ones over here. I can say equal sign, rand, and then I put number of paragraphs, comma, number of sentences. It does not matter the figure that you use or the number that you use, as long as you put some numbers here. The 4 you're looking at represents the paragraph, 3 represents the sentence. So you can always use any number. Then after, I just hit enter on my keyboard, and you can see now I'm generating some random text to be able to work with. So if I select the first paragraph that I'm having over here, now I can be able to copy it and paste it somewhere. So let us start with our clipboard over here. We said clipboard, font, paragraph, style, editing, all of these are the ones that we call groups or grouping. Now let us start with the clipboard grouping. Let us start with cut and copy feature. If I make this one red, I apply the font color of red, and then I press on cut. It means I'm moving this paragraph from here to maybe page 2 or a certain page number. So to cut is to move. It's like I'm removing this paragraph and I'm putting it somewhere. But if I'm to use copy feature, which is here, it's like I'm getting a copy of this paragraph to somewhere, but it's going to remain even here. So that's the difference between cut and copy. Take an example. If I cut now, maybe I bring my cursor here, I go to insert, I create another new blank page, because you can see I'm having just one page. Let me click on page break to create another new page, and then I go back, I say paste. You can see I'm having my paragraph over here, but on top it's no longer there. But if I copy this one, and then I paste it over here, you can see it's there, but also where we pasted it is there also. So copy, it's like you're making a replication of a certain paragraph, maybe from page 1 to page 2. But cut, you're moving them. You're not having them in the original position. These are very simple things, but people tend to fail in differentiating them. So that's why I had to touch. That's why I had to touch them. So suppose maybe I select the whole of this paragraph and then I click on copy. Where do you think this paragraph is being stored in my Microsoft Word? Once I copy or once I cut it? Take a pause and think about that. I'm not sure whether you got the correct answer, but the solution is if I come over here on this launch icon for Clipboard, you can see I'm having something over here. It means Clipboard can store 24 objects or items. So if you copied, let's say maybe 4 or 5 items, you're having a chance to paste anytime the object that you copied earlier. So that's the role of the clipboard. It stores everything that you're copying. But once they exceed 24 objects, then it's no longer keeping. Also, if I come over here and I open PowerPoint, let me try to open PowerPoint. You can see in the clipboard section, we are having something that we copied from Microsoft Word. So what I copy from Word can be replicated also to the PowerPoint and vice versa. So that's said and done. Let us now look at this paint format. Paint format or format painter, whatever you call it, you can see this paragraph that is in red color or with font color of red is different from this paragraph over here that I've selected. So if I want this paragraph to look like the second, I can just select this one over here, click on Format Painter, and then brush the second paragraph, and now you can see they are similar. So Format Painter, the role of Format Painter is to replicate the color and the formatting of a paragraph to another paragraph. As simple as that. So I hope you can relate with those small terms and features. So let us now go to to font grouping. Font grouping, we have some small features over here. Like over here, we have fonts. Fonts determine how our characters are going to appear. And then we have font size. Below font size, we are having this B, which stands for bold, this I, which stands for italic, underline, this one is strike through, this one is subscript, this one is superscript. How do we use them? To be able to apply them on your paragraph, you need to first select your paragraph. If I select this paragraph and I click on bold, you can see this paragraph is differentiated from the second and the rest of the paragraphs. So like bold, italic, and line, we usually use them when we are dealing with headings, subtitles, and what have you. And if I select again and I click on italic, you can see they are bent. My characters or my paragraph is bent like. So also we can use italic when we are dealing with headings of like tables, headings of figures, things like that. Or when we are naming, when we are dealing with subtitles also. And then there is underline. So to remove this one, let's say italic, you have to click on it again. To apply it again, you just click on it. Then we have underline. Underline also, it's like when you're trying to underline a heading, which is different from this one that we call strike through. This one, ABC, with a line crossed in the middle. If I click on this one, you can see now there is a line crossing my characters. So that one we call it strike through. Now, in front we have this X with 2 at the bottom and X with 2 on top. This one is subscript. We use it like when we are writing bases or base numbers, take an example, but it can be applied in different ways. Take an example, if I write 10, maybe, sorry, not 10, let's say 1 and 0, and these are in base 2. And maybe I want to put them in base 2, I put 2. So if I select these two and then I click on Subscript, you can see now 2 is coming at the bottom. So now we can read this one as 1, 0, base 2. So suppose maybe this S, which is here, I want to put it on top. I can use superscript now, and you can see it's coming on top. So we use superscript mostly like when we are dealing with dates. Take an example like today is 1st. If I write 1 and then I put ST, if I'm to select ST and then I use superscript, you can see now ST is coming on top of the number. Now we can read it as 1st. Like today is 1st of September 2023. And then we have this one over here, this feature, which is A, and then this one over here. So this one increases the character of your paragraph, and then this one reduces. Take an example. If I'm to select this paragraph and then I click on this big A, you can see the font size keeps on increasing. If I'm to click on this one, you can see the font size keeps on reducing. Something that you can use if you want to increase or reduce the font size of your characters without touching the font size over here. That said and done, we do have this double A over here. Maybe you want to change the case of your paragraph or your sentence. When I talk of a case, like for instance here, we are having a paragraph, and maybe I want to put this paragraph in 2 capital letters. If I want to put it in 2 capital letters, I will have to select it, come over here, and then choose uppercase. So you can see now it's in the uppercase. If I want maybe to make the first letter appear in capital letter but the rest in small letter, I would come over here and then choose maybe capitalize each word. So you can see each character or each letter representing a word at the beginning is in capital letters. So you can change cases from here. You can see we have sentence case, lower case, upper case, tangle case, and so many others. So over there we are dealing with cases. And then over here, you can see we have something like AB, and then we are having A over here. So this one over here, we call it text highlight color. This one that has AB on it. Then this one over here, we call it a font color. How do they differ? Let me try to come over here. Let me try to make it black also by using paint format. This one over here. You can see now these two paragraphs are similar. All right. If I select this paragraph over here and I apply text highlight color, it affects the background of our characters, but it does not affect the character themselves. Take a look. If I come over here and maybe I apply a certain color like red, you can see the characters are still black, but the background color of the characters are now turning red. Now look, if I apply the font color, let me try to select this one, and now I'm going to apply the font color which is red. I come over here, maybe I choose red. You can see the background color in the second paragraph is not affected. Only what is affected are characters in that very paragraph. I hope you can catch the differences between these two paragraphs. So this one we call it a text highlight color, this one we call it a font color. I hope you can see that. Then we have this feature over here, which is A with a rubber feature. This one, it clears formatting. Maybe you copied this paragraph from the internet, and then it came with formatting that you don't want. You just have to click on this one, and then the formatting will change. So this one clears formatting to the texts that you're getting from the internet. I hope maybe I will have to find exact scenario where you can apply it. So be patient with me. So now we are going to Now we are going to use the paragraph grouping. So paragraph grouping has a lot of features that are very, very important in our day-to-day life. Let me generate some random text again. But maybe I will use 10 paragraphs, 10 sentences, but I don't want them to come as strike through. So I'll deselect this one and then hit enter. Also, I don't want them to be underlined. Maybe I will use 14 as a font size, and I don't want them to be bold. Or even I can use maybe 12 as a font size. So look over here, I'm having a lot of paragraphs that I've generated. These are my paragraphs that I've generated with a random expression or formula. Although formula is a mathematical expression between two variables. So look over here. What we are having here, like this one, this one, this one, all of these three are for alignment. Alignment, if I come over here and I write the word, maybe tutorial, maybe try it tutorial as a word. Let me make it a little bit big so that maybe it can be seen. Once I select this word and maybe I click on this one, you can see it's being aligned to the right margin. And then if I click on this one, it's in the middle, it will be aligned in the middle. This one is to align to the left margin. So if you're having a paper is made of 4 margins: top margin, right margin, left, and also the bottom margin. So now this one over here is for aligning to the left, aligning to the middle, and then aligning to the right. Hope you can understand that one. Then this feature over here, which is in front of aligning, it's what we call justifying lines. It's for justifying lines. If I select this paragraph over here, on the right margin, over here, where my cursor is, you can see they are not equal to the right margin. You can see this word is not equal to this one and it's not equal to this one. But once you look over here, it seems they are on straight line, they are equal. So to make them appear equal, it's a way of justifying lines. So you can just come over here and you can see now they are equal to the right margin. So that one we call it justifying lines. Then this one over here is for line spacing. Line spacing is to put a line, to put some spaces between one line to the other, to the other, to the other. Take an example. I've selected my first paragraph. If I come over here and maybe I use 1.5. Now you can look, the spacing between this paragraph, the second paragraph, and the first is very different. Let me try maybe to increase line spacing so that you can see it. You can see now these spaces between lines. So this one is what we call line spacing. So if you want to change a space between lines, you can always use this feature over here. So we call it line spacing feature or paragraph line spacing. So you can see these ones over here are different from these ones over here. So you can always play with these numbers and see the spaces that are being added, and you can go with your favorite. Then we have this one over here. This one also is a color, which is different from these ones over here. These two belong to the font grouping. This one belongs to the paragraph grouping. Now, they are a little bit different in a way that you cannot notice. Let me first change my paragraph spacing maybe to normal. Take an example. If I bring my cursor here at the beginning and I apply any color, let's say maybe I apply green, you can see without selecting, the color is already being applied to the whole paragraph. So this one we usually term it paragraph color. It is paragraph color in the sense that you don't need to select the whole paragraph to be able to apply a color. But if I come over here and I select maybe, let's say, my second paragraph, and then I come on font, and then I apply maybe green color. Before I select, this color cannot be applied on the paragraph. Let me say maybe I bring my cursor here. Maybe I apply any color. You can see it's not being applied until I have to select the whole of the paragraph. So this one, we call it a paragraph color, because once you bring your cursor at the beginning without selecting, and then you apply any color, look, you can see the color is being applied without even selecting the whole of the paragraph. So this one, we call it a paragraph color. So I hope you can differentiate them. Then we have this one over here, this one that seems to be a box-like. This one that seems to be a box-like is for borders. I think you've ever seen people doing like some reports, some thesis, some dissertations, some conference papers. So they usually design the first page from the rest of the pages. So by using borders. Take an example. If I click over here and then I come to border and shading, you can see we have borders and then we have page borders. Maybe I want to apply page borders. Then over here, we have colors. You can choose a color. And then over here, we have width. Width, you're going to give it how much big is it going to be? Like if it's a line or if it's a feature you're going to apply to use on your border. Then over here, you can use even some inbuilt features that we are having. Take an example. Maybe let me try to look for the one that looks a little bit nice. If I'm to use maybe like this one, maybe I want to choose, let's say, like a red color. Maybe the width, let me try to make it, let's say 15. So over here, you can choose where to apply it. If it's the whole document, or you can choose even first page only. Let me choose maybe first page only. And then maybe I click OK. So if I click OK, you can see I'm having my borders on the first page, but the rest of the pages, you can see we are not having borders. So that's how we apply borders on a certain page. But also you can apply borders on a certain paragraph, not only on the page. Take an example. If I go back and then I come to borders without going to the page border, I click on maybe box. Maybe I choose now, let's say green color. Maybe let me choose, should we choose blue? Okay, let me choose green. Maybe over here I want to use a certain line. Maybe let me use this one. So I'm applying it on the paragraph this time. So over here, if I click on top, it means I've removed the line. If I click on top again, I've put the line back. So if I click OK to apply, now you can see on my paragraph, I'm having a green border. Let me try maybe to remove this color, which is the paragraph, so that you can see it. You can see now that I'm having a border which is in green color. So you can apply a border to a sentence, to a paragraph, and also to the whole page. So I hope maybe you're understanding that. Again, we have these features over here. These three features, we use them when we are numbering. Like these ones over here, we call them bullet points. And these ones over here, we call them numbered lists. So to apply them when you're numbering, you just need to select where you want to apply them. And maybe let's say I want to apply this one, take an example. Once I click on it, you can see it's coming where we have the beginning of our paragraph. That goes to numbered lists also. As long as you just select and then you choose one of your choice, it just get applied automatically. Then over here, we have these two features. We have this one and then we have this one. These two features, these two that I'm hovering over, on, these ones over here, we call them indentation features. Take an example. I'm having a paragraph over here. When you're writing an essay, you intend to make the first line appear a little bit in front, somewhere like here. So what you've done is what we call indenting the first line. But mostly because they don't explain it, you end up not knowing it. So you don't do that manually. We are given a feature that helps us in indenting. So if I select the whole of this paragraph and then I click on this feature, you can see the paragraph is being pushed a little bit in front. If I click again, you can see it keeps on being pushed to the right margin. Actually, most of the time, it gets pushed by 0.5 centimeter. If I'm to come into view and then I apply the ruler, you can see the ruler is coming. Now check, if I go back and click on indent, you can see it jumps 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Now if you want to bring back the indent, you just click on this one. One is for increasing, another one is for reducing. But sometimes you just want to indent only the first line without indenting the whole of the paragraph. So how do we do that? It is very simple. Let me try to guide you. If I select the whole of this paragraph, and then I come over here on this icon that shows more features, and then I come where we have indentation. You can see we have indentation. Then we have something like special. Under special, I'm going to choose first line. Then I will determine the centimeters I want to indent by. Maybe I want to indent by 1.5. 1.5. Let me put 1.5. So you can see over here in the preview, my first line is being pushed towards the right margin and the remaining lines are static. So let me try to click OK and then you can see it now. So it's being pushed from here to here and the remaining lines are just static. Let me try to do Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z means undo. So if I'm to do Ctrl Z, I want to go back. I want to go back where I used to be. If I'm to do Ctrl R, I want to redo. I want to move forward. So another way you can also work on these lines over here, and then the first line remains static. The rest of these lines we call them hanging lines. So you may indent the hanging lines, and then the first line can remain static. Take an example. Let me select the whole of the paragraph, come over here, and then under special, I'm going to choose hanging, and then maybe I want to indent by 2. I put 2, and then I click OK. So you can see the hanging lines are being pushed or indented by 3 centimeter from the left margin, by 2 centimeter, sorry, from the left margin, and the first line is being static. So I hope you can differentiate now. So whatever feature we are having on Clipboard, on font, on paragraph, these icons that we are having here are for more options. Take an example. If maybe I want to apply anything on the paragraph grouping and I'm not seeing it, I can just come over here and then I'll be able to see it from here. The reason why we select the whole of this paragraph and then once we indent, it goes by 0.5, it's because over here we have tabs, and then by default we are supposed to be, once you click on tab or once you indent, it goes by 0.5 centimeter. So once you change this number and you hit on tab on your keyboard or you indent, then it will shift by that number that you've inserted, not 0.5 as it used to be. So let us try to look on maybe something new. Let me try to reduce this indent. Okay. Another thing from the indentation, we are having this one over here, AZ. AZ is for sorting. Maybe you're having names and you need to sort them alphabetically. Take an example. Maybe I'm having names. Let's say maybe I'm having Ruth. Let me put it below. Maybe I'm having Ruth. Maybe I'm having Jack. Maybe I'm having Abbas. Maybe I'm having Zach. Maybe I'm having Mark. So if you're to look vividly, it is so hard once you're having, let's say, like 200 names and you need to sort them in ascending order or in descending order. You can take time looking at which letter comes first, which letter comes later, whatever letter comes what. So you can just come over here on AZ. You choose ascending if you want maybe to move from A to Z, or you choose descending once you want to move from Z to A. Ascending is the smallest to the biggest, descending from largest to the smallest. So if I click OK, you can see now we are starting with Abbas to Zach. So that is just sorting, which is not a big deal. Then we are having this icon over here. Let me call it a feature, not an icon. We usually call it non-printing marks, or we call it non-paragraph mark. So non-paragraph mark or non-printing mark, it helps us with different things. People used to use it during the time when computers even were not around, especially authors who used to write books. So they trace unnecessary spaces, that is one. They trace line breaks, and also they determine the beginning and the ending of paragraphs. That's what they do. Take an example. If I come over here, I have my paragraph. You can see with your eyes, I cannot notice where I have unnecessary spaces. Maybe I come over here between video and provides, and then I putted some space without knowing. You can see with my eyes, I cannot differentiate the space between A and powerful and video and provides over here. But if I'm to select this one over here and then I apply, I click on non-printing marks. If I'm to click on non-printing marks, you can see between a word and the other, we are having a single dot. So where we have unnecessary spaces, it is indicated by using dots which are more than one. So where we have more than one single dot, it means we have unnecessary space. So you can see between each word and the other, there is just a single dot, meaning we have appropriate space and it's just one single space which is appropriate. That said and done, if we want to remove this one over here, you click on it again and it's gone. Now, how do we trace line breaks, or how do we determine line breaks? First of all, I would ask, how do we apply line breaks on a certain paragraph? Pause, ask yourself, practice, and see whether you can make it. I'm giving you just 2 seconds to think about that, and then I take you through. I hope you made it. Let us continue. Now, if I'm to come at the end of this paragraph over here, you can see where my cursor is. And then I hold Control or I hold Enter and then return. I've just hold Shift and then clicked on the Enter. let me use maybe on screen keyboard to see what I've done. I've tried to hold this shift and enter at the same time when my cursor is at the end of the paragraph. So what I have now is a space between this paragraph and this paragraph. That is what we call a line break. Now, how do we know that we have a line break between paragraphs or between sentences? How can we determine that we have? So to be able to determine it, I can select, come over here. You can see we are having a symbol now. This symbol over here, maybe I make it big, a little bit big. This symbol over here, I don't know whether you're able to see it. This one pointing backward, we call it a carriage return. This symbol traces what we call a line break. I hope you can see it. This one at the end. So to be able to insert it or to insert a line break, you hold shift and then enter on your keyboard when you are at the end of the paragraph. So I hope now you can know the role of it. And I hope you're going to start maybe using it even in normal life. So let us maybe to see the features that we forgot to touch on. Let me come over here and then go to spacing. So we've touched on alignment, we've touched on line spacing, but we've not touched much on spacing before and after. Before and after spacing, let me click this one maybe to remove non-printing marks. You may be having paragraphs like this. You can see this, the first paragraph. Maybe let me use red color. The first paragraph, let's say maybe it's in green color. So you can see between the green paragraph and the red paragraph, there is no space. So if I want to put space between these two paragraphs, I may select the second one, take an example, come over here, and then maybe come on before paragraph and maybe put something like, let's say maybe 30. Let me put maybe 30. TT stands for point. They're just like measurements, 30 points. And then I click OK. So if I click OK, there is a little bit of space I think being added over here. Let me try maybe to increase space so that let me make it maybe like 48. So you can see the paragraph that we selected, there is a lot of space being added over here. Let me click OK. Why is it not coming? Let me select again. Let me select this paragraph. Come over here and maybe put like 42 and then click OK. So you can see the space is coming. But now we have applied it on after. Let us now apply it on before. Let me try maybe to increase maybe to 60 and click OK. So you can see now it's coming. So this is before spacing, this is after spacing. So all you need to do is just to select a paragraph, and then if you want the space on top, you use before spacing. If you want the space at the bottom of the paragraph, then you use after spacing. As simple as that. So I hope now we are okay with clipboard, font, and paragraph grouping. Let us now touch a little bit on styles. Let us touch on styles, which are very necessary and even important. So we use styles in different ways. You can see the way this paragraph looks. If I click maybe on this paragraph, on this style over here, you can see the paragraph changes automatically. If I click on this one, you can see the paragraph is changing automatically. If I click on this one, you can see it changes automatically. So styles can change the way our paragraphs look in terms of formatting, in terms of color, in terms of fonts, in terms of what. So you can apply a certain style that you want, even when you want like to create table of content, or if you want to change the formatting of that paragraph. But that said and done, We can also create our own styles. So how do we create our own styles? You can see we are having these inbuilt styles. Now I'm going to come over here and then come on create a style. A style, I'm going to name it Sonatibe, and then I'm going to click on modify to be able to change things on my very style that I've created. Now this style, I can give it a font. Maybe let's say I want to give it a font of Algeria. Maybe I want to increase the font size to 10. Maybe I want my font to have like an orange color, and I can click on add to the styles gallery. So once I click OK, you can see now my style is coming. So whenever I want to change any paragraph, uh, maybe to look somehow compared to my style, I can just click on my style and then you can see it is having the spaces and even having the font and even the color that we apply to our style. If I modify my style, maybe I say I need it in let's say blue color. Maybe instead of Jerry, I can change the font. Maybe I change this one. Maybe I click OK. So you can see the paragraph changes automatically. So you can use styles to suit your formatting need. So also we can create a style for the reason of like once we want to create table figures, list of tables, and very many. But I will have to touch that in a separate video because it takes a little bit of time. Then we are having something like find, replace, and select under editing group. If I come over here and I want to select everything, that I'm having in my document, I can just come on select and then I say select all, and then everything that I'm having is selected already, which can be done in different way anyway. You can also use Control A to select everything if you want. Then we have find feature. Find feature is like once you want to find a certain word or a certain keyword that you have in your document. So you can use, let's say, Control F on your keyboard, and then it opens this navigation panel. Or let me try to close this one. Or you can click on find and then it will just open. Now suppose maybe I want to find the word video. I can just come over here. I typed video. Before I hit enter, you can see they are showing me that it appears 28 times in my document. Suppose I want to maybe change this word where I have video, change and put audio. Then I can use this feature that we call replace. So I may click here on replace, or I can come over here in front and then choose replace. So this is the word that I'm having in my document. Maybe I want to replace it with maybe audio. So you can see we are having replace, replace all, and then we have find next. To replace, you're going to replace just one occurrence, but replace all, it will be all occurrences. Maybe let me say all occurrences. You can see they are showing me 28 replacements. I click yes, I click OK. I close from here. I come back. I try to search for the word video again. You can see it's no longer anywhere in my document. But now, if I'm to search for audio, you can see it appears 28 times. So that's how we use find and replace. But also in front over here, we have a very needed feature that we call go to. Go to is a feature that helps us to navigate through page numbers. You can see over here, I'm having 3 pages and I'm on page 1. So suppose maybe I'm having a document with 100 pages. So instead of scrolling through the whole of the document, I can use go to feature to be able to jump from one page to the other. Take an example. If I say maybe I want to go to page 3, check over here I'm on page 1 of the third page. If I click go, you can see now I'm on the third page and the total pages are 3. So go to helps us to move from one page to the other without scrolling. So I hope you really enjoyed this very good tutorial. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share, and I'm going to create more videos about Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and even spreadsheet. So in the next video, I'll be touching on Insert tab with the whole of these features under Insert. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. I love you all.